Hi everyone, this is Lisa. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be doing sort of an old school technique called pick and omit. This is where we use our Stampin' Write markers to color in the different areas of the stamp. This may be a review for you or it may be something new, so hang with me. I've sped up this video so it's short and we'll go through this together. Now the measurements are up in the left hand corner. You can either stop the video or they will be on my blog. I just can't rattle them off fast enough. So this is Whisper White, Cajun Craze, and the base is Garden Green. Okay, so we're going to begin with these two pieces of cardstock. And we're going to be using the Garden Green, Soft Suede, and Cajun Craze markers along with the Cajun Craze ink pad. Say that fast. Cajun Craze, Cajun Craze, Cajun Craze. This is the stamp that we're using from this set. I'm starting with the brush tip of the Garden Green marker. And if you didn't know, our caps fit on top of each other, so if you have a habit of losing them like I do, it's a good practice to stick it on top of the other end of the cap. So as you can see, I'm just coloring in the leaves with the Garden Green marker, using sort of a light hand because you don't want to shove the ink down in the crevices of the stamp. You might end up with a big blob when you go to stamp it. And I thought that this would be an easy stamp to demonstrate this technique, so now I'm coming in with the soft suede and I'm just coloring the branches. And if you go over the, if you get a little soft suede in your green or you get a little green in your soft suede, that's not a big deal. We can fix that after we stamp it. Now I'm using the Cajun Craze to color the pot that it's in. And notice how I'm just going in one direction. And that is because this particular part of the stamp is sort of flat. It's not bumpy. So what I've done just now is I've huffed on the stamp to reactivate the ink, and now I'm stamping down. And there we go. That's pretty straight. Looks pretty good. We're going to do this again. We're doing this twice for our card. And it's a good idea to clean your stamp in between doing this on this particular technique to make sure that you don't have any ink down in those crevices. So I've sped this up quite a bit because you already saw me do this. You know, it's funny, we get caught up in things like everyone is masking everything now, and we forget about techniques like this. Actually, I did, and one day I looked up at my markers and I thought, I don't get enough use out of those. So then I thought, I need to do a video on pick and omit. So I borrowed this stamp set from my friend Michelle. So thanks a lot, Michelle, for letting me use this. And when you're coloring a flat area here, like I'm showing you, I mentioned about the bubbles, you want to make sure you don't have any bubbles in there. Huffing again to re-moisten the ink and stamping down. And there we go. It's pretty even. I tried to get them as even as I could. They're not perfect, but this is a handmade card. Okay, next we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm just going to use the ink pad for this because it's all going to be one color. And I'm trying to get this centered and straight, which is difficult to do with your head not directly over the top. I did okay. It's a little off to the left, but it'll work. So now we're just going to put the card together. I'm just layering these, and they're cut in eighths, so it's a very small margin. And I have a difficult time also myself lining up small increments like eighths when I'm layering my cards. So I have to stand up And my cat jumped up in my chair, so that's why I'm standing off to the side, because I certainly don't want to move her and disturb her. She is the queen of the castle here. Okay, so now that I have these both mounted, I want to put them so that they're relatively even to the center of the card. And then the sentiment is going to go on the top. And of course I ran out of snail. I was just sure I was going to make it through this video with what I had left, but I didn't. So I'm glad I had another one ready to go. Okay. So these are going to end up overlapping because I want them to be a small distance from the edge, not directly on the edge, and together they're too large to fit. So they're going to overlap, but that's okay because our sentiment is going to go in the center. So this was a really quick, easy, and fun to do card. Got some good use out of my markers, which made me very happy. So now I'm just pulling these dimensionals off. I've used 5. And down the center is where I'm placing my sentiment. And it looks pretty straight as it can be. Like I said, it is a handmade card. I'm just using a little Tombow glue here to adhere the linen thread. And I have been practicing my bow tying, and I actually did tie these. I didn't cheat. I didn't use the bow jig. I actually just worked at it until I got them right. So hopefully I'll get better. So there's our card. I hope you like it. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.